Alright, hello and welcome to Camel Finance. I'm your boy Camel, and I want to preface this by saying I know full well that at least a quarter of the people that watch these videos are going to get rubbed up the wrong way about me talking about XRP. So forgive me, first of all. Second of all, nothing has changed in my approach to investing. Nothing has changed in my belief for Bitcoin being the only hope. Nothing has changed in terms of me being as close to a Bitcoin maxi as you can be without being a bigoted or tribal investor. So none of that has changed. I'm not here to shill you XRP, but what I am here to do is document how I am, as a swing trader, am trading. And when I see a setup like this, I was very hesitant to make this video because I do know full well many of you are probably going to throw a comment down to say to say how much you hate XRP, and that is fine, okay? I'm not here to shill you XRP. I'm just here to show you when I see a setup that interests me. And so with all that said, let me show you what I'm seeing here. First of all, we have got kind of an ugly looking, admittedly, but it's still a valid cup and handle pattern on the log scale for XRP against the dollar. This is the first thing to point out. The second thing I want to point out is if you look here, this is on the non-log, this is on the regular chart and a daily time frame. See this blue trend line? I'll get rid of this that I've just drawn. This is in the way. See this blue downward sloping trend line here? We are coming right into focus for this, okay? As you can see. So we're only days away from touching this. Now, will we get rejected and make a new low? Quite possibly. And I know some of you that watch this video will be, that's going to be your bias, that you think we're going lower. And maybe we are. I don't know. As you know, I don't predict anything. But I do think if we can get a break of this trend line, then this, to me, is a pretty decent risk reward. Now this is only targeting 50 or 60 cents, and if it would let me do a measure, why wouldn't it let me do a measure? There you go. This is 50-60 odd percent just to here, and whenever XRP historically pumps, it usually flies. And if you use the top of this range here, $1.04, this is massive R&R. So do I think it's going to pump? I don't know. I have no idea. But if it breaks this trend line, then if you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll know this is how I make my money. This is how I trade. Okay, this is my bread and butter. I draw trend lines and then I trade the breakout on the daily time frame. So I'm just letting you know ahead of time that I am lining this up. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking there's a good chance to get a decent swing trade put on for XRP over the coming days. Furthermore, I'm thinking about exiting my Ethereum trade into XRP, and the reason for that is, one, we've got good profit in the Ethereum trade. Two is that if you look at this, is Ethereum priced against XRP, okay? Ethereum against XRP. So when this is going up, Ethereum is outperforming XRP, and you can see we are right into resistance here and are starting to get a rejection off. So this would suggest that if we get a rollover in this, XRP is going to outperform Ethereum. And since we already have quite a lot of open profit on here, again, I'm still trading mechanically. This is not me, oh, my gut is telling me XRP is going to pump. None of that. I mean, my gut is telling me that, but I'm not going to trade based on my guts or emotion. What I'm going to trade on is a mechanical breakdown. If we get a trend line break, which I expect to occur anytime between today and, let's say, the 25th of August, then I think the best possible opportunity is to exit some of this profit into XRP. Now that is on the preface that we break this trend line for XRP as we're breaking this trend line, and that would signal a rollover in this ETH against XRP chart. So it just seems to me that technically speaking, the stars are aligning to get perhaps one more pump out of Ethereum, then a breakdown, which would send Ethereum priced in XRP to the downside, meaning XRP would be significantly outperforming Ethereum. Couple that with a trend line break against the dollar, and the fact that we're going to be probably working our way up towards the top of this handle pattern on the cup and handle for the long-term log chart. All of these signs are telling me that XRP could be about to pump. So I know many of you hate XRP. That's fine. Again, I'm not here to shill XRP, so don't hate me too much. But when I see an opportunity, I plan to flag this opportunity, and so that's it. My cards are on the table. Now you know my thoughts towards XRP. Don't worry, I'm not going to be covering XRP every day. If we put the trade on, then I will report on it as I am long. For now, I won't mention it again until I decide to execute a long position. But if it does break this and I do put some risk on, I'll let you know, and we will just see how that goes. Speaking of Ethereum, Coinbase is going to pause ETH and ERC20 token deposits and withdrawals during the merge as a precautionary measure. So if I was the sort of person that kept ETH or ERC20 tokens on Coinbase, I would be thinking about withdrawing them to a cold storage or moving them somewhere else, just in case something goes wrong and I might want to access them or have full control over my tokens. So something to bear in mind, okay, because there could be volatility. There almost certainly will be volatility. The question is, will it be to the upside or the downside? The jury's still out about this. There is obviously the case both ways, because some people think that there's this triple halving going on and therefore there'll be a massive supply shock and ETH will fly to the upside. On the flip side, there's also a whole bunch of issues with having the proof of work system forked. So there's going to be an additional fork by the looks of it. So we're going to have the standard ETH chain, which is going to continue. That's going to be slowly but surely put to death. Then the proof of stake is going to be forked off of that chain, but then the proof of work miners are going to make their own fork so they can continue to mine proof of work Ethereum. So all of this could cause quite an issue, and therefore if we saw a sell the news type of event and we saw downside on Ethereum following the merge, I wouldn't be surprised at all. In other news, the electricity prices in Germany are at a new record. Look at this. This is enormous. And therefore, it's not surprising that we're seeing the German searches for firewood spike. So, and I do wonder if this is coming to the UK. I'm pretty sure that by the end of the year, the UK's trends for firewood will probably look something like this as well. I've been advocating for responsibly preparing, responsibly stocking up ever since I started this channel. And I got a short clip here to show you, which kind of illustrates my point. Whilst there are no queues, you're free to add a little bit of stuff every week to your shop and make sure that you and your family are protected from these sorts of events. But if you leave it until it's the last minute, until everyone else figures it out, then this is what happens. And you don't want to be in this sort of queue, do you? You don't want to be in this situation. So I have been saying this since I've had my channel. I will continue to say this until the moment comes, but this is not a situation you want to find yourself in. This is true as well if there are bank runs. People queue like this to try to withdraw their money from the banks only to be told they can't have it. So it's just worth thinking ahead of time, I think, because as you can see, you really don't want to be caught up in this mess. I mean, this is insane. As you can see, that's not what you want. A lot of people are hating on this rally, and retail traders continue to bet against the market as the uptrend continues. The 10-day moving average for the retail put-call ratio is now around the highest level since 2020. And we all know how that ended with a V-shaped recovery, right? So it could well be that a lot of retail are caught offside in this move and are not expecting new highs. And all it would take really is for a dovish pivot to be announced or even hinted at from the Fed at Jackson Hole on the 25th. And we could absolutely see new highs very rapidly afterwards. However, it's important to always have situational awareness. And the situational awareness tells us that what is our current bear market rally, if it is a bear market rally and not a bottom? Well, what does it look like compared to normal bear market rallies? And as you can see, this is completely normal. To bounce 17% is nothing, and to go 40% wouldn't be unheard of. Okay, so we could go double and then make new lows. We could roll over from here and go down another 50 or 60%. That also wouldn't be outside of the norm. So we do have to respect risk. We do have to always have situational awareness, because it's no good being biased. It's definitely going to go down. It's no good having that bias, because what if we don't, like we didn't in 2020? But it's also no good assuming we're going straight to new highs and the Fed will definitely pivot, because what if it doesn't? Then a 50% drawdown from here is more than on the table. So we must be keeping situational awareness and unbiased. We must be remaining unbiased. You can have an expectation, but not a bias. Wanted to flag real. I think I flagged this the other day. Coming up to our horizontal, so a break above here, and I'll be long, targeting 7 to 8. Wouldn't be surprised to see it consolidate a little bit more under here, so we'll see how that goes. The S&P, look, right into critical resistance, and looking at the futures, they are quite red. Now, only 0.7%, 116 points for the Nasdaq's not huge really. But it's funny that, of course, we are getting a rejection or at least an initial reaction off of our magic trend lines, isn't it? So this is probably going to open right on support. Of course, if we break this support, then I'm going to be taking profit, as I've been repeatedly saying, and looking to get neutral to come back from a position of power later. NASDAQ, here we go. Again, we're going to be opening right here, so it doesn't mean we can't do something like this, hold this line of support and then gap up tomorrow or go from tomorrow, but we are certainly going to be opening here. So a daily close below this trend line and I'll be out. If we then come back into here and resume off, that's another trade that we can line up. And a true structural breakdown would be not until we lose this low, but I have a great deal of profit booked here or open here, so if we break this trend line then I'll be more than happy with taking that. VIX is telling us it's trying to bottom, isn't it? We've got a bit of sideways before the breakout. Is it going to break out? Well, that largely depends on whether or not the S&P can break down, but a breakdown from here and I think it's time to long the VIX. So that's my position at the moment, looking to long the VIX. Will it come up here? Quite possibly. We'll have to let the market tell us though, not trying to guess. UKX, this is getting a bit dicey. The trend line is somewhat being respected, but it's getting wicked below. So again, a daily close below this. You could maybe stretch it like this. That would be like my final point. Certainly, I will not give back any more profit than this. So below that level, and we're out. Ideally though, we'll see if we can get one more push. If not, I think I'm going to close this trade. Again, I've got more than enough profit here, so happy with that and happy to go back to a neutral position, waiting for a new daily cycle to form. Oil getting down into our target zone at long last, so we'll see how this goes. Going to be open to seeing oil at $65 a barrel, but ultimately just looking to continue to play patiently here because patience is always rewarded. Gold, I said I wasn't going to sweat pullbacks, looking to add on dips if I can, so we don't want to lose this level really, don't want to lose this here. For a couple of days maybe if we can sharply recover. It makes sense that this is sort of like the final line of resistance, isn't it? Right here from the two peaks, so it kind of makes sense that we got rejected here. But if we can form a new daily cycle low and then break this line and move up, then I think we can add on that cycle low, wait for the next swing and take all the risk off of that trade. And the story is basically exactly the same for silver, isn't it? Silver to me looks a little bit more bullish. Lose this low and we have to entertain a structural damage to the chart, but above this and it's not too bad. Miners, looks like we're going to be giving back a bit of profit on this, but again, if we can get down here and then bounce over the coming week or two, I think we can add here and let this go, so that's absolutely fine. Bitcoin still grinding its way up, isn't it? We are got to be approaching day 40-ish now. Yeah, day 35, so we'd expect maybe day 45-ish for a true break. So obviously if it breaks this before, then we'll have to respect risk and respect the breakdown, but I kind of suspect we're going to get one more bounce up to 25, 26 and then break down into this cycle low, which is due on around the 10th or the 11th of September. So that's that. Ethereum kind of already covered at the beginning of the video. Trendline break and we're out, and of course lining up potentially exit into XRP. So we'll see how that goes. Again, for a short-term trade, I'm not trying to shill you anything. MATIC is again into support, so can it hold or can't it? I don't know. I will continue to monitor this, but it looks like this is going to be not a very profitable trade. I mean, there's some profit there for sure, but not the levels that I was hoping to get to. We might need to see a daily cycle for Bitcoin form first, and then we can truly go. And lastly, I think it's time we had a quick look at this. So you can see that maybe there's a little bit more leg room in this before we reach this heart line. I've long been saying that I would expect to see a reaction at the heart line, but it's telling us that almost half of the stablecoin supply has been deployed, isn't it? Relative to, you know, this would be an absolute top. So it makes sense that we can maybe deploy a few more stables to chase this higher and then get some profit taken from positions such as this one. Obviously, if we get one more push higher, then I'll be taking my profit and waiting for that new 60-day cycle low to form. So that all kind of makes sense. Maybe we can see a bit more, or maybe we're going to get a profit taken here. So we'll see what happens. Got to keep a bit of an eye on the futures. It all comes down to those trend lines. So I'm going to make sure I respect risk, make sure I respect my trend lines, and make sure we don't go giving back a whole load of open profit. If you found value here today, I'd appreciate if you could drop a like on the video. Subscribe if you're not already. Thank you to everyone that supports the channel. Thank you to everyone that DMs me, messages me, comments on the videos. I really, really, really appreciate all of that. So take care, everyone. All the best from me. Cheers. Bye.